Hello, it's your boy, your blood, whatever, history boy, and this is part of the following up the thing about my lists video. Gonna start with gonna eventually start gonna today start with the fun with fact flags, and basically what that is. I know there's plenty of channels about to do with like flags and stuff like that, but it's not just the flags themselves. There's the bit about the country, the constituency, the state, the province, the region, dependency, all that kind of stuff, territory, that the flags represent. So it's not just about flag of a country. So this first episode I'm going to do is about Tokelau Island, which were called the Union Islands until 1976. It's a territory belonging to New Zealand. It's pretty much sort of the equivalent of the Pitcairn Islands, and most famous one being Norfolk Island, which is Australian, with some historical American influence there. Which if you've seen one of my fun facts episodes, which I did on the 4th of July, I did like vaguely American related things on there. Stuff like, say Norfolk Island, and also when the Philippines became their own nation after, God knows how many years after being more or less like an outpost for, Spain, Japan, finally the USA, and, of course, in 1946, President Harry Truman gave the bill or whatever for the Philippines to be, I guess, independent again, their own government. A year after the end of the war, end of World War II, because Douglas MacArthur was out there a lot as well, so there was a lot of that kind of stuff. But anyway, about the flag, it symbolizes a canoe sailing towards the Southern Cross, which is a constellation that symbolizes and is associated with most of the Antipodean kind of places. That's Australia, New Zealand, and Tokelau is quite nearby. It's in the Pacific. It's nearby Nauru and Tonga and all the rest of those kind of places into kind of Australian-ish Samoa. I apologise if I've somehow offended any Samoan Pacific Islanders out there, but that's what you get for researching sort of obscure things. And also it's the country. There's some stuff about the country itself. It's the first 100% solar powered nation. Made up of 3 coral atolls: Atafu, Nukununu, and Fakaufu. I'm probably butchering that pronunciation. I mean, for all I know, I might be of some Aborigine descent from World War II or Pacific Island descent from World War II. I don't know, but that's just the descent thing. But yeah, I'll stop whittering about that. And it was first. Its original known name was Duke of York Island, which was named by British naval officer Commodore John Byron in 1765. The first people on Atafu, one of the coral atolls, was spotted in 1841 by the United States Exploring Expedition, and a few days later, Captain Morvan, a French naval explorer, spotted Faka Ofo, which both expeditions they spotted the tribes of people there, or some kind of government there. When it was thought that for a good 80-ish, 70 to 80-ish years there weren't anyone there. 45% of its residents were born in Samoa in New Zealand, so a lot of them were, of like Pacific Island and Samoan descent. Maybe some of them have like, what's the typical other diaspora of New Zealanders, Scottish, Irish, Pearls, Croatians. So maybe some of the islanders have those kind of bloodlines, but like distant. But yeah, you have American Samoans and Hawaiians and stuff over there, I guess. Yeah. So from my short-term memory's crap when it comes to reading things and stuff, so I'll try not to make it look sort of like I'm just reading off the paper. Yeah, the flag itself, the canoe stuff, it symbolises the nomadic nature of the tribes and their mode of travel for thousands of years, and also the symbolic journey towards continual progress, which I always like that kind of pride, but without putting the blame on who was there before or whatever's happened. It's just like a thing's built, it has history. Or your nation has history or whatever, and you can continuing to look forward. And like the the thing about it being the first 100% solar powered nation, even though it's a sort of a territory, is it a nation? I suppose you could call it a nation for how it's run and everything. It's a dependency territory thing, but who knows? With that kind of ingenuity and stuff, depending on how the political structure is over in that country, if there is one, depending on how united they are, that could make them some kind of, I guess, quasi superpower in the Pacific, which is fascinating to me. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. What I'm going to say about the first episode of Fun with Flag Facts. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you in the next one.